The 2025 Global Qualifier is up and running. I've got it set up behind me and I want to help you get a better time. Find the right line, find the consistent line, show you a couple different options based on your skill level, and ultimately help you get the best time that you can get this year. I've got a DJI 04 open racer that we're going to be using for today's video, and we're just going to put down some laps, show you a couple different variations, and hopefully you can get something valuable out of this video. Let's get to flying, and yeah, thanks for watching. Okay. So first, want to do a quick walkthrough of the track. You can launch from anywhere, depends on the event, you know, yada, yada, yada. But the first gate is right through here and you're going into a split S. The name of the game for this entire track walk and this entire track is you need to exit a gate, setting yourself up for the next one. Make your job easier. So we're gonna come through this one at a bit of an angle, or at least leaned over to get into the split S. This is one of the more controversial takes in something where you're gonna see fast pilots lines start to divert. Some people, they're gonna go straight over the top, some over the corner, and some are gonna stay low and just come around the outside. This is a stylistic choice, but what I'm personally going to do, I think, is stay low and just come around the outside. You could argue this is a little bit of a longer line, but it does two things that I think are really valuable. One, it eliminates any altitude control. You're just staying low, there's no split S involved. And two, it sets you up for a perfect exit angle to get you to the corkscrew faster and more efficiently. If you just go over the top, you're gonna come through this gate near perpendicular, which means you're not gonna have any inertia or momentum to pull you over to that corkscrew faster. I'm excited to see what the fast guys are doing, but if you're looking for a way to improve, this is a great place to experiment with a new line to help shave those tenths or seconds off your time. As we go into the corkscrew, another area where you'll see fast guys doing a very, very difficult maneuver of coming through here, pulling back, using all this pitch, coming perfectly over the top and into the next one. Now, if you're a top pilot or one of the best in the world, sure, that's fantastic. But if I was going to be on the newer side and wanted to do something that was efficient or faster, I wouldn't worry about letting this corkscrew ruin my time because I'm trying to be like Hyper or Yuki or whoever. I would come through here, stay low, and just carve around the gate and get into this one as fast as possible. No altitude involved. That's always what screws up guys who are on the newer side. And it's easy and simple. You know what's fast? Something you can do repeatedly. You know what's slow? Something that you can do really fast one time but crash the other 2 times. So we're gonna try and find lines that you can do 3 times in a row, confidently and consistently, and that is what makes your time fast. So definitely think about the proper line, and once you nail that down and you get a good time on the board, maybe you can start experimenting, but this is something to definitely keep in mind throughout the whole thing. Going into this next section of the track, this is arguably where a lighter quad could help, especially as you start to go faster and faster, because you're really on the throttle, pulling a lot of consistent G's, and that's where a lighter quad really is helpful. You come through the top gate, carving all the way down in a right turn, laddering down into this ladder, I guess. And one big mistake I've continued to see is people laddering down and coming straight through the gate. That's awesome, it's easy, but if you're wanting to get faster, this is another part where exit angle really starts to matter. Come around this flag, and I want you to focus on going through this gate at a 45-degree angle. It doesn't have to be a 10-degree angle, but I also don't want it to be a 90-degree angle. Just come in at a 45, because we're gonna be doing a left out of here anyways. It's gonna set you up and make your job easier. Now, as you exit this gate and you're really focused on having the shortest line possible, your gut reaction is you're gonna say, I wanna go straight towards that flag. What you could do, instead of going straight at that gate, doing a hard left and dropping down and cutting out all of your momentum and speed, swing a little bit wider, gain a little bit of altitude, and allow yourself to swoop through using a late apex into this next gate. It's an easier line, you have more momentum, and hopefully more consistently faster for you who's trying to move up that leaderboard. So swing a little bit wide, focus on apexing just over on this right side of the hurdle and swooping through this gate at the highest speed possible. Because now this momentum that you just gained is gonna pull you right into this next section super easy, almost effortlessly. Now this section, it may seem like a simple ladder down, but it's a great opportunity to practice utilizing angles to your advantage. You're gonna come around and drop down. What I see a lot of people do is go straight through this one and straight through the next one. All I want you to do, no matter how good you are, and you'll see it if you play a lot of these guys who are going really fast, they're gonna come into this gate at some type of angle. The faster guys may have a powerful enough quad where they can keep it super tight and it doesn't matter as much. But if you're on the newer side or wanting to use angles to your advantage, you'll swing a little bit wider, just a little bit, and come through this gate at another 45-degree angle, making the entrance into your next turn heck of a lot easier. So come through here at a 45, cut through here as fast as I possibly can, not worried about the angle necessarily, but just getting around this as if it was a flag and getting into this last slalom before we go to the straight. This is probably my least favorite part of the GQ because you're gonna stare at the ground. In this case, we're flying right back towards ourselves or towards our car and at a high rate of speed. And it's just a little bit scary, but all you're gonna focus on, consistent throttle, lock your horizon as far as where the horizon is in your screen, carve through, get in that start gate as fast as possible, but don't get too throttle happy. If you're doing multiple laps in a row, it's really enticing to just try and get in. Oh, it was my lap, it was my lap. Don't get ahead of yourself. Focus on setting yourself up for the next lap. You gotta keep disciplined and consistent, and that's gonna be the ticket to your fastest time. The principle of all of this is I would rather have 3 10-second laps than a 9.1 and then an 11 and a 15, right? Because that means that I had these crazy lines that were awesome and I got a 9-second lap, that's awesome. But you need to find those lines where you can do 3 10s because ultimately that's gonna be way faster. Hope this helps. Now let's get out there and actually fly. This is the quad we're going to be flying today. It's a 533 open racer with a special modification. This is with 04 in it. My dad likes ducks. This is his quad, but standard. This is the Hobby ESC, HD0 Halo flight controller, DJI 04, 533 1960 kV motors, and the Duck 4 autopilot assistance. So first I'm just going to do a quick fly through the gate. Split S, corkscrew, top gate, ladder down, hurdle, spiral this way. All right, now we're gonna talk about some different lines. We'll talk about here first. So one thing you'll see is people split S-ing like this. Now that's cool and all, but what I think could be a little bit more efficient, staying low and just slicing through like that. One hybrid version of that would be to come over the corner like this, and that is a bit of a hybrid that I think a lot of people will use. Now, of course, another thing we're gonna look at is this corkscrew. If I was a beginner and I was just trying to get the fastest time I could with my skill level, I would just come around something like this. It wouldn't be the fastest, but it would be super consistent. You could just come through here, and it would just be super easy and consistent. And if you wanted to try and get faster, the shorter line would be, something like that. That's of course cool, a lot more pitch, but just a little harder to be consistent. As you come into the top gate, all you're gonna do is just hold on to that throttle, wrap through this as much as possible. But as you exit this ladder, here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna come straight through the gate, okay? I want you to try, come down the ladder and enter the gate at this angle right here, because that sets you up on the exit way better for the hurdle. So we're gonna come out of the hurdle and then just try and slice through this gate here. Now here's where I told you earlier that you could just do a hard left and go straight at the hurdle and do one of these numbers, or you could come through here a little bit wider, be on your power and swoop through, and it's a lot more efficient. So I'll kind of now go through and start implementing some of those different line choices. Gonna stay low and then come through at an angle here. High, nice. Laddering down, keeping my throttle, but exiting at an angle. Going wide. Here, gonna go in my 45. I'm gonna show that one more time. Come around. I'm gonna go in my 45, and then that sets me up great for the next gate. And again, that's one of the principles of trying to improve, is making your job easier for yourself. Going through a gate, setting yourself up for the next one is the name of the game. 45. Woo, got a little squirrely there. Coming through here, gonna exit 45. Around here is pretty standard. Enter 45. Just these little angles on the entrance will completely elevate your flying and pull you up that leaderboard, not by adding more throttle, not by having a lighter quad, not by even practicing more, but just by having a couple fundamental ideas to make your quad get around the track faster. All right. In this pack, we're gonna talk a little bit about form or technique. What we just did is set down the line that we're gonna try and follow. And as you'll see guys who start to push more and more and try and improve their time, the first thing that starts to fail is their form. And when their form starts to fail, they start to get less consistent. So the root cause of this issue is them starting to push more and more and more. Their form starts to degrade and causes the issues. So if you're the pilot and you're trying to improve, make sure you push as much as you can, but as soon as you start to feel the form degrade and the error rate go up significant amount, bring it back down and focus on the fundamentals, because that is the ticket to you succeeding. Because, as I said earlier, the ticket to you improving is 3 of your most consistent laps in a row. Not a fast lap, a mess up, and a fast lap. That is gonna be slower every single time. It's gonna lose you races. It's gonna put you lower on the leaderboard. The guy who's in first place, I guarantee he's not gonna have an 8, a 12, and an 8. It's gonna be 3 8s. Find the consistency, focus on the form, and that will lead to us climbing the leaderboard. Okay, arming. So I'm gonna start first at like 50% throttle. Really focusing on form. So around here. Oh yeah. Tight ladder. And I'll try and go a little bit faster now. Messed up a little bit there. The form's starting to degrade there, going a little bit too wide, blowing out turns. That's gonna lead to being less consistent. So if you start to see the form degrade, it'll look something like this. So way past. So that's what I see this so much. These guys going full throttle. I'm using the same amount of throttle, but my quad's all over the place. When in reality, you can fly the same speed, less throttle, but just under more control. And so what that means, don't focus on the throttle, focus on the line and the control, and that will lead to better lap times, more consistency, you climbing the leaderboard, and winning more races. Fact of the matter is, this is difficult for anybody, but it's all about improving personally. So I hope that you learned something in this video that you could apply to your flight around the GQ. At every single event, you've got 10 packs around it. So I'd say from a strategy at the event, the first 3 packs, first 5 packs, just go slow. Constrict yourself, get some packs in, build that confidence up, and have a time on the board. Those last 5, then you can start to ramp it up. But what I always try and tell myself as a small tip is, just finish the first lap, evaluate, and figure out how I'm gonna approach the next 2. I feel like so many people go out there trying to break the world record on lap number 1, but really lap number 3 is where you're gonna make or break any time. So focus on getting through those first 2, evaluate where you're at, and if you're on a hot one, then go for it on lap number 3. But don't take yourself out on lap number 1. Of course, easier said than done, I totally understand, and I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of examples of me crashing on lap number 1 at the real GQ next weekend, but just a tidbit of advice. Hope this helps you guys out. Can't wait to see you guys on the leaderboard. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you guys around. Bye.